We begin in the Middle East. An Israeli airstrike has killed at least 22 people, including 16 children, in the city of Rafah in southern Gaza. Fighter jets from the Israeli Air Force lobbed multiple bombs into Rafah last night. And the Palestinian authorities say that several Gazans were left wounded after the air raid. Now, Israel has begun expanding its ground operations towards Rafah as its troops were seen near the border between Gaza and Egypt. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is making good on his promise to go after Hamas and eliminate them from Gaza.
In the coming days, we will increase the military and political pressure on Hamas because this is the only way to free our hostages and achieve our victory.
The Israeli military has presented its plans to enter Rafah, which are likely to be approved by the War Cabinet as early as this week.
The Chief of Staff was at the Southern Command today. He approved plans for the continuation of the fighting. There is now a cabinet. The plans are presented. The decisions will be made. Our job is to continue dismantling Hamas and do everything in order to return the hostages, and we are making progress in this along with other goals of the war.
As the Israeli offensive looms over Rafah, the city continues to house more than 2 million Palestinian refugees who have been internally displaced in Gaza as a result of the relentless Israeli bombing. The United States has repeatedly warned Israel from carrying out such an offensive, and now Washington is taking the remarkable step in considering sanctions against certain Israeli military units that have been accused of human rights violations against Palestinians. The State Department is probing Netzah Yehuda for alleged human rights violations in the West Bank and Gaza. Now, if the sanctions are in fact approved, their impact would be limited to preventing the Israeli unit from using U.S. military aid to purchase weapons. Meanwhile, the Israeli Prime Minister has pledged to defend his troops from the American sanctions.
I will fiercely defend the IDF, our army and our fighters. If anyone thinks they can impose sanctions on a unit of the IDF, I will fight it with all my strength. As our soldiers are united to protect us on the battlefield, we are united to protect them on the political field. Together we will fight, and with God's help together, we will win.
Now, as Israel inches closer to its military offensive in Rafah, the question that looms large is, will the U.S. sanctions become the deterrent to halt this operation in its tracks? From impeachments to inaugurations, if it's a political story, we are on the scene. The race for the White House is heating up.
We're beating Biden.
How dare he say that?
If it's breaking news, we're live with the latest coverage. From the White House, the State Department, and Capitol Hill, we know the issues, but above all, we know the players to bring you the latest in-depth analysis on all the key stories that we're covering. I'm Eric Ham. Join me from Washington here on Firstpost America.